So myself, and also I'm sure the audience is curious, how did your journey begin, like from back then to now?
It at that time seemed like fun and games, in the sense that, I used to wear school uniform, go to school in the daytime, and in the evening somehow I would transform into this gorgeous diva and walk the ramp. Now, when I say walk the ramp, there was actually no infrastructure. We didn't have proper makeup artists, we didn't have designers, we didn't have brands, we didn't have a proper light stage sound, expert. So some people who had approached me, it was their first time as well.
So it sounds like literally it all started from scratch.
Yes, even it was their first time. It was my first time. And then there were these other ladies who were in their 20s. Also, they had a day job and they wanted to do this. So we all got together and then we started the shows, and we didn't know how to do makeup for the shows. So somehow we would, I'd never worn makeup before because I was only young. And then we'd just sit and we'd find wrong shades of foundation, because in those days white foundations were only available. So we put that on, then we put some eyeshadow on, then we put some lipstick on, and we did look like quite made up. Simply because we didn't know. Then there were no makeup artists. We tried a makeup artist who came from the serial line where, they did even far more hideous makeup than what we were doing ourselves. So
for the Gen Z today, this is exactly what we call DIY. And that is the DIY, I think, back then. Or Jugaad.
Also, I loved style and fashion. I used to go to the army library and find those international fashion magazines, and for hours look at a model and figure out what kind of makeup was being done, what kind of look was being created. So I was the first one, after 3 or 4 shows, said that instead of everybody doing their own makeup and everybody looking different, why don't we all look the same?
Wow.
So where do we go looking for makeup palettes? That was challenging. There was only New Market and there were no brands. Whatever brands were there made very anti-type of shades which were not fashion forward. So we'd go and pull in the money ourselves, buy the makeup, mix some foundation colors to make it our own skin color. Then I'd say, let's mix this and that'll be like eye color, and then we'll do this, and that'll be a blush color. We'll do hair. Somebody was good at hair, we did the hair, and eventually we got some structure into that. And then by then, all the organizers who we were working with also got an idea how to do the light and whatever. Sound, music, it was all bad because nobody knew anything. Everybody had different professions. Like I was going to school.
So what we are actually listening to is the evolution of the industry in Calcutta back in time. And everything was work in progress and people were still experimenting and learning until certain structure came into being.
Yes. Choreography also, nobody knew what. In fact, when I was approached first, and somebody said, I'm a Ashish Banerjee, very famous, iconic
I
Ashish
was
Banerjee.
coming to that. So this was an age. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt on this one because it's very personal to me too. And there was an age that came in Calcutta, which was popularly known as Ramp Age. And I think that was the company as well. And that's how first time I saw her and I was blown away with what I saw. The models were so good looking, the way they presented themselves, they carried themselves. It is like looking at divas from, walk down from heaven. So that's my first time experience when I met Pinky Dee, and it's been wonderful. So please, we would love to know more about
Ashish said I'm a fashion choreographer. I remembered the word choreographer, and I went and I was thinking, because we didn't have Mr. Dr. Google then, because we didn't even have cell phones. So I asked my dad, he was a very learned man. I said, Dad, what does a choreographer mean? And then he didn't know fashion. He said, when there are ballets and classical dances, there's somebody who conducts it and directs it. that person is called a choreographer. So I said, then what would a fashion choreographer mean? He said, maybe somebody who would say, this time is your entry, this time is your exit. That would be a choreographer. So, and imagine, today I live my life as a choreographer. But yes, at 15, 16, I did not know what that meant. And since then, I would say, in fact, I was speaking to a friend of mine, Anirudh Chakladar, again comes from a makeup artist, comes from my generation, and he and me we were just discussing how far we've come, and how he put it was exactly what it is. There was a jungle. We cut the jungle. It took time. We made way, then we made roads, then we made concrete roads. When we started building some shacks, from there we built some concrete buildings, and eventually we made a very concrete space for the now generations to work, where they don't have to figure it out all by themselves, without any mentors, without any guidance, without any idea. They exist and their life is easier because we did that for them.
So, they say leaders usually create a pathway for others, and then it is for you to walk that pathway. So everyone has their own unique journey. Like they said, from a jungle to making into a beautiful garden. Now everyone's enjoying the view. But once upon a time, it was not so. And it's so beautiful to hear such stories. It makes us feel so grateful that, leaders and individuals like Pinky Dee and many others exist. And we must know our history and our roots, where we've come from. And I've heard that, somebody has told me, and I really value that about this, and I think you should also listen to this part, that you must not take advice from anyone and everyone, but somebody who's been there and done that. And I think today, when you are listening to these words of wisdom, which is coming down through ages, it is so valuable. It's like literally, having a wealth of information, and probably she's the best person to reach out to if you are a part of this industry or you aspire to be one. And which is where I'm going to come, that there is a Spotlight Academy that's being launched, and Pinky Dee is personally taking care of the personality development, ramp walking. Please, we would love to hear from her, like what are the things she has in store for you.